Once was a land of woe and strife, where the people were bereft of hope. They prayed to their gods of might and light to deliver the heroes of old. Instead they got heroes. Did you hear the quotes in my voice of moral ambiguity? They may help or may not help you at all. Depends on what's in it for them. They kick and they punch and they maul and they smash. They lie and they scheme and they burn and they slash. Succeed or fail, it adds to the tale. Dungeons and Debacle starts now.
Hello and welcome to this episode of the Dungeons and Debuckles podcast. I am your host and dungeon master, Kevin. Going around the table, Hannah.
I'm Hannah and I'll be playing Talia, the human rogue.
And Shane.
I'm Shane playing Alexander, the human bard.
And John.
Hello. I play Alunodas, Elven monk. And cook.
And Blake.
My name is Blake, and I'll be playing Juliet, the eldritch knight / wizard, Dragonborn.
Alright, so the last time on Dungeons and Debuckles podcast, you found yourselves in Feygate. You were basically trapped inside of this inn as you were under guard, under the pretext of entering the city, and there to speak to Eric Tellwright. After some smooth talking, some lies and deceptions, and a little bit of seduction, you were able to find out that the Boots of Feygate were not in the city, and that you needed to go to the Feygate. So after some disguises and some illusions and some smooth talkings, you were able to leave the city and make your way to the Feygate, and that's where you find yourselves now. At this point, it is probably about maybe midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. There is a full moon currently that is illuminating most of the woods where you are here. You are hearing some sounds up ahead near the Feygate. Prime, most of all, is the rushing of a waterfall that is feeding this stream that runs to the river. And that is where you find yourselves now. So what do you want to do?
I believe we wanted to rest. Spells for people. Because we used a lot of spell slots making disguises so we could get out of the city.
Alright, so currently you think, give me a survival check or a perception check, anybody.
I can do perception. I can do perception 9 times.
Turns out you
16
can't.
passive.
This would be an active.
10.
Anybody else?
Oh, you said somebody give me, which implies 1.
Or
But
anybody,
I guess
yeah.
more of us can.
You can give me perception or survival.
During our interim sessions, we've lost 4 eyeballs between the
20.
2.
Alright, so let's see. Alexander and Talia. Based on the sound of this waterfall and some glow of some firelight, you think you're probably about maybe 200 yards from the Feygate.
I'll say something. I'll tell the guys, hey, I think the Feygates, I'm guessing it's behind the waterfall.
Interesting. So we just have to walk right through it?
I have a feeling there's going to be more resistance than that. We might have to come up with a strategy.
Well, yeah.
Shouldn't this be more protected? Anyone else find that rather odd?
Maybe they don't expect an attack from the direction of the city?
Well, I mean, you haven't seen this area. You don't know if it's defended or not. You just know that there's a glow from a fire and some noise from the waterfall.
Oh, okay. I guess we can't see it, so...
I mean, you could move closer if you'd like.
Yeah, I think that's our only option. So let's do that.
Or you could send Batgirl to scout ahead.
I think she already used it, yeah.
Yeah, not till morning. Not until dawn. And then I
You can only
change
do it once per day?
Once per day. But it doesn't have a time limit on it, so I can just, stay a bat for,
Dark.
ever. It actually doesn't even require there to be darkness. There has to be darkness for me to change, but the way that it's written, it doesn't require me to stay in darkness. The flying requires me to stay in darkness.
So we move closer. That is the conclusion I have drawn.
Okay, move closer.
Okay, are you stealthing up there, or are you just taking your horses and your cart?
I think perhaps we should send, like, 2 people up there who can stealth real well and
We could just
scout.
continue with the saying we're on a mission from What's His Nuts.
I think Talia's right here. Stealth is probably the best option right now.
So Nyfron says, I'll go.
I'll go too. And she's gonna, for no other reason than she can, put up on her cloak so that she is super adorable when she does it.
Doesn't that also give you advantage on...
Actually, this one just gives me advantage whenever I'm wearing it. I don't have to put the hood up. That was the Cloak of Elvenkind that did that.
okay. And who has that currently? Is that Alexander?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, Nyfron is going to turn to you and say, follow me. And he is going to walk into the woods to the south of this stream.
I'll follow him.
Okay, give me a stealth check.
Could we get a map showing the
At
area
29,
we're in?
because I get advantage on stealth checks.
Rip. It's right now where we're the city.
We're getting there. Just hold on. And Nyfron got a 21. Okay. So, you're going to duck into the woods here and find some areas of the trees where the moonlight isn't filtering down, so there's shadow. You're going to walk for about 100 yards and give me a perception check.
13.
Okay. Nyfron got a 19.
Actually, I haven't used my inspiration yet.
There's a time limit on that, right?
Yeah, that fades after like 5 minutes.
Oh, I thought it was longer than that.
Not bardic inspiration.
Gosh darn it, Alexander, why aren't you more useful?
It's a
Just
bar.
bring him up there and play music loudly.
No, it's okay. I'll just get a 13.
Alright, so you're walking through here and you're sticking to the shadows, and you're going to see Nyfron stop and crouch down beside a tree, and he motions you to get down. And then after a few minutes, you're going to hear some limbs breaking, and you're going to see some movement in the woods. And Nyfron is just going to hold his hand out for you to, like, stop and stay there. And after about 5 minutes, he motions for you to come up and join him.
I
Yeah,
will do that.
Should we have let Talia go up alone with Nyfron? I don't think he's a good influence on her.
It's only for a few minutes. I mean, what's the worst that could happen?
You could kill her.
I think he's magically bound to help us, isn't he?
I hope so. Anyway, enough of this interruption.
As you join Nyfron, he is going to whisper to you, "There's an elf up there. He's moved away. I think we're good to go." Give me another stealth check.
27.
Nice. Alright, so you're moving slowly and carefully through these woods, and after about 20 minutes, you're going to find yourself over here in this area where I'm pinging on the map. So you come to the edge of the trees here, and now you can see firelight and torchlight. The sound of the waterfall here is almost deafening. The waterfall itself, you can see the top of it is probably about 60 to 70 feet tall. Give me a perception check.
Ooh.
7.
It's a good thing that Nyfron rolled a lot higher than you. So Nyfron's going to turn to you and say, this isn't good. I count almost a dozen men. What you can see is there's 2 campfires here, and there's been 2 structures that have been set up on either side of the waterfall here. Look like some huts. And there's also this palisade wooden wall that surrounds the entrance of the waterfall here that's broken up into sections. The walls themselves are probably about 5 feet high with sharpened wooden stakes at the top. There appears to be some sort of footbridge that's been erected across the stream here that connects either side of the stream. You're also seeing some large boulders here that might make for cover in front of the wooden fences.
Can we see from here if the wooden fence goes all the way up to the cliff thing?
Not from where you are currently. You're basically, you can see the front of the structure and it looks like it wraps around.
Talia's just gonna kind of sigh and, you know, just sigh. Oh yeah, how tall is the fence?
5 feet. You can see the heads of these tall high elves stick out probably, you know, about 1.5 feet above the fences because they're kind of tall.
Sniper.
So Nyfron is going to walk up a little bit more ahead. Are you following?
Yes.
Okay, give me a stealth check.
26.
Damn. I'm just going to stop asking. So he motions for you to follow him, and you're going to swing wide to the east and south here through the trees, and he stops at a point that's probably, you think, maybe 30 yards or so from this fencing. Give me another perception check.
18.
Alright, so you are getting some firelight coming from these large campfires that they have on either side here, and it appears that this fencing runs all the way up to this sheer rock face that goes up to the waterfall. It's probably about 70 feet.
Talia's gonna kind of lean over to Nyfron and whisper very quietly, how do you think we should go in?
I don't know. Perhaps find a way over the fencing here, take them by surprise, or maybe go to the top of the waterfall, but it's a long way to fall if we try to climb down.
Not to mention, if they notice us up there, they'll be able to shoot us easily.
Give me a perception check.
5.
So, you're looking around this, how hard it would be to climb this thing, and there's not a lot of features that you can make out in the dark here. It looks like it's pretty straight up and down in spots. It looks like the trees to your south and east rise up on a hill. You may be able to find a way to climb up around that. But one thing that you notice as you are looking around this waterfall, that it appears that there are 4 figures on the ridge here that are moving, that stick out against the moonlight. Their silhouettes you can see.
Bush. Amateur.
So you think there's somebody up there too?
She's gonna lean to him again and whisper, do you think we can bluff our way through this again?
I don't know. We had a hard enough time getting out of the city. I'd say the group here is a more highly motivated lot. We also know that they've been attacking wood elves indiscriminately. Us showing up on the doorstep might not go over too well.
Let's go back to the group and tell them what we know and try to figure out a plan.
Agreed. He's going to stalk off into the woods, but this time deeper to the south and the east to make like a deeper circuit away from the stream here.
She'll follow.
Give me another stealth check.
23.
Alright, so yeah, you make it back with no problems. You are going to see that elf that was patrolling to the south and east here again, but Nyfron stops you in plenty of time to not make any noise, and the elf continues its patrol without noticing you. So you make it back to the rest of the group.
So what'd you see?
Talia's going to relate just the information that they got, that there's a 5-foot wall made of sunk posts with spikes at the top, correct?
Yeah, they're like logs that have been sharpened at the top that are probably about 3 inches in diameter.
And
Palisade sticks.
And that there were people, and yeah.
You think there's probably about from what Nyfron was telling you, there is about a dozen on the ground here, and 4 more at the top of the falls.
Alright. Can we bluff our way past? Anyone?
I have a feeling they're not letting anyone through there.
Yeah, I don't think we can bluff our way through that.
So we're going to have to kill a dozen or so armed, prepared elves in a defensive position.
But there is one place they won't expect it from.
The
Because
water?
there's a river that runs right through there. If we could dive under the river and pop up, we might get the advantage. Might get the drop on it.
Interesting. I do have that ring that lets me breathe underwater.
Yeah, and it'll be super easy to swim against the current.
Well, after it comes down in the waterfall, the current will actually be much weaker there. So that's less of a problem. As an elf, I have the ability to be extra sneaky in wildlands such as this. So, perhaps, Juliet, you would like the honor of the ring so that you could go up the river, while Nyfron, Talia, and I sneak as close as possible to the entrance. Perhaps Alexander does something. Alexander has the cloak. He can be sneaky too. The rest of us split up, sneak as close as we can to the entrance on either side. You walk up the river, and then we attack when you attack.
One thing that you also saw about this palisade is it is not solid in some places. So it's basically like layered to where they can move like people and horses and carts through. But if you look at it, you know, there's like a front line, and then there's a line behind that with a hole, and then another smaller line behind it.
So that there's no straight line into the camp, but also no gate or anything.
Correct.
Perhaps Juliet can sneak up the water. Talia, Nyfron, and I travel, or no, even Talia and Nyfron sneak as close as possible. Alexander and I just walk right up to the gate and try to talk to them. Alexander can be very persuasive, yes?
But I don't speak Elvish.
You'd have me there.
How would
But
that
you're not
apply?
persuasive.
No, I'm not, but being an elf, perhaps it would lend some extra credibility if we tried to, at the very least, attempt to bluff our way in. And if they're focused on us, then they won't be looking for you.
You mean in the place where they've been attacking and killing wood elves indiscriminately because they're trying to keep people out of it?
Yes.
Next
Like
plan.
Yeah.
So I have an idea. So they don't seem to be quite the being a persuaded type. So how about we just go on the side and then I lightning bolt them and then we rush in.
Will lightning bolt create a gap for us?
It would lightning bolt through all the dudes.
Wait, it's a wooden palisade, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You want to light it on fire?
Hell yeah, she does. Talia's answer to anything is fire. Have you listened to her backstory episode?
I'm just saying there's a fire-breathing dragonborn and wood. That's all I'm saying.
The thing is, it's probably going to be a slow burn. I don't know if that's going to work.
Do you think there are any wood elves around? Maybe we could get them to attack alongside us.
Okay, so one point of concern as well is that I am not super stealthy. Swimming up the river might be a problem just because I'm a gigantic red alligator kind of thing. And I don't think that is like a natural creature that you'd find.
I mean, you could put on the water breathing ring and then just stand on the bottom and walk through.
How deep is the river?
I don't know.
Just jump in and
How
find
deep is
out.
the river? And also, if there was some sort of distraction, then that would make it easier for you to just sort of walk up. And also, if we did it at night, it would be harder for them to see you.
Well, I can't see at all at night, so...
Well, that would make the river even easier for you. You just go in the direction that it's hardest to go.
That sounds
He's
safe.
not wrong.
I mean, that's assuming that the river isn't like 2 feet deep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Okay,
It's people on the top of the cliff that would probably cause some sorts of problems for us. What if Talia and Nyfron dealt with them first. I know Talia can fly up there, perhaps. Nyfron, do you think you could climb up there?
I don't see why not. It looks like there's a ridge that winds around to the top of it.
So at the very least, we wouldn't necessarily have to fight all of them all at once, unless they have some sort of alarm call or something.
I feel like we're not going to get out of just attacking them.
Oh no, of course not.
So we don't have to fight all of them at the same time.
That's me.
Do you have, can you make a fog cloud?
I do not have fog cloud. I have major image, lightning bolts, speak with dead, invisibility, prayer of healing, and suggestion.
I have fog cloud if we want to use that.
Because, I mean, what if we just snuck up there and fog, on either side of the river and fog clouded the entrances and to try to get in before they have a chance to attack us before we can get in?
Oh, just run right.
Because they can see over the fence post, so they'll be able to attack us, but we won't necessarily be able to attack them. It does also mean taking all of them on.
Well, the thing is, the waterfall has fairy fire. Yes?
No.
No, I thought you said there was fairy fire. Okay.
No, there are campfires.
Okay. Damn. Because, fairy fire would have, shone through the fog unless we would have had a simple target to aim at. Alright, never mind.
We need a solution either way, guys.
Okay, so how about we return to the fire idea? The thing is that it will be a slow burn, but if they're inside, it's a problem for them that they have to fix. And if it starts on the outside, they're either going to have to come outside, or they're just going to have to wait for the fire to come in, burn the outside, and then use the water from the river to take it out. So, if we start a fire on one side, wait for it to grow big enough to grab their attention, it's likely they will grab buckets or something and start trying to put it out with river water. Then we can sneak in just very easily. Oh, okay. Easily might be a little too... They're definitely going to be suspicious, but...
You mean if we can set the fire without them noticing that there's someone there setting the fire?
Yes.
So you're saying we set it outside the palisade entirely? Like trees on fire?
If we want to light trees on fire, that's fine. We might start a forest fire.
I'm okay with that.
Alright.
What about Buttercup?
I was assuming we'd bring everything with us through the waterfall.
Oh god, that makes everything so much harder.
Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea.
I mean, we could probably bring the horses pretty easy, but the cart would have to stay.
I'm very ambivalent about that. Okay, let's kill everyone.
Alright, let me put out a new option. I don't know if this is gonna work. We use rope, we climb up to the hill that the waterfall is coming on, and we rope down into the Feygate. Nothing could go wrong with this plan.
There are 4 people up there, and also...
At least.
At least 4. 4 that we saw. And I don't know, I didn't see what kind of weaponry the people on the bottom had, but if they saw us rappelling down the cliff, we would make excellent targets that couldn't move easily for them to shoot at.
Any mage types?
Nyfron's gonna say, it was hard to make out. Basically, we could just see shadows. He's also gonna say, there's also the matter of the 70-foot drop, if you happen to fall.
Oh, I could just jump off, I think.
Well, not
I'm
all
going to
of us
look
are from
smug.
Assassin's
We'll
Creed.
Alright, yeah, I'm at a loss.
Well, we have to pick a plan. We can't make this like the last episode.
Yeah.
How about we set the fire, they start to clump up to try to put it out, we engage them and then slaughter them and go into the Feygate.
I think
Let's
that's
do
a
it.
wonderfully simple idea.
I like it.
There we go.
That does mean sneaking Juliet close enough to set the fire.
We just have to go through the woods on the outside, and then we just start setting the trees on fire and they'll catch through.
Yeah, we don't
be the
need
one
to
to
set
set it
it
on
magic.
fire.
Yeah, anyone can light a fire.
Do you still have any of that alchemist fire left? Did you get that from the Red Talons to burn down The Temple of Arathis?
The Temple of Arathis way back when, but I think
Pretty sure we used it all.
Yeah, I think we used it all. I remember us trying to use it before on a separate thing, and then we're like, oh, we don't have any.
Did you get anything from Kasich?
I'm looking.
We got a
at what we
pillowcase
have. That pillowcase is awesome. Okay.
and gloves.
I thought your firebolt ring was expended, Talia.
It is expended. I don't know why it
That
says
off
one
here.
charge left, but someone else had some kind of firebolt thing. I think it was Alunodas.
I have a wand of magic missiles. Somebody has a magic thing that does lightning stuff, I think. I don't think we have any more fire stuff.
You know what we do have?
What?
A bard with some kind of a shooty type object.
Bow, you mean?
Yeah. Don't judge. A crossbow. Light the crossbow bolt on fire. Fire it.
That only works in the stories.
Yeah, you would need some sort of accelerant.
Doesn't anyone have like fireball as a spell?
Okay, so hear me out. We use growth on a match that's fired from his crossbow.
That's
like
thinking
it.
outside the box.
How about
Sadly,
we
I don't
just
think
use
we have
growth on a bolt that's fired from his crossbow and hit somebody with something the size of a tree? Alright, Talia, Nyfron, why don't you sneak to the north side of the river, light a fire among the trees, see if you can't get it ready to aim it toward the palisade, and then sneak back down toward the entrance while we watch from the south side. When they start to move toward the north to fight the fire, we'll come in the southern entrance to attack them, and you can come in through the northern entrance when you see us.
What are we going to do about the archers up top? We'll be sitting ducks.
Okay. Light the fire, go to the top of the cliff, wait till you see us attack down below, then you attack the archers, then come back down once you're done with them.
Sure.
What do you think,
I
Talia?
guess.
Okay.
Well,
How's
we
that
all
sound
have
to you?
spells, so... I mean,
Oh, right. Fog cloud would prevent the archers from attacking,
That's true.
That's true.
but then whether you cast it on the archers or on the... Actually, I think casting it on the archers might be best.
What's the range on that spell?
I'm looking it up. 120 feet. And I can actually throw it in the air. Smoke grenade.
Depending on where you are, you may be able to get some of them in it, but it doesn't look like you would be able to get all of them in it, depending on where you are.
No, yeah. It would be used as cover to intervene between us and the archers. Like, we would put it up in the air and then use that area, that diagonal, that hypotenuse.
Alright, so is that what you're doing?
You could cast it from 100 feet away from the base of the wall and still be able to get the center of the cloud at the top of the wall. I just did that.
Okay, so just to run down, set a fire, they'll start trying to put it out. We engage on them. Nyfron will be up top whenever we do. We set the freaking fog mist on them or us,
Are
one or
we
the other.
them, or are we just trying to get away? Or get through without being noticed?
I would imagine that we're gonna get noticed. It's only like, what, 100-foot space with
I think it's a
12
20-foot
elves.
radius. For the fog cloud is a 20-foot radius, I think.
Your engagement zone up here is about 75 feet wide by about 45 feet deep on the ground.
Yeah, I would imagine that very perceptive elves would have the capability of seeing us. So let's just take a quick vote, since there's four of us and Nyfron, so that's 5. I vote to engage after we start the fire.
Just straight up attack.
Well, what I just said, so we'll start the fire, they'll start clumping together, we engage.
Yeah.
So we are going to wait for them.
Yes.
And then Nyfron and Talia go up to the top, deal with those 4 archers, while we struggle pridefully to deal with the giant group on the ground, and then they come back down to join us after they've killed the fancies up top.
Right, so that's the attack plan.
Nyfron's going to say that may take us a while to get back down. We'll effectively be out of the fight.
That's what the ropes are for. Just
I mean, it won't take me that long. I can fly.
I thought your bat with form was Oh,
Well, she can
we're
use
not
her
gonna
cape to
attack
fly
now.
without turning
Lets
into
me
a bat.
fly.
oh.
So, cloaking
are we-
fun.
Are we going to attack right now? Because we are low on spells.
Yeah, I think we should rest until tomorrow evening.
Yeah, we can do it tomorrow. But so, are we on board with the attack plan, or are we on board with the stealth fly plan?
Personally, I'm on board with the attack plan. If we go through the gate and then we have to come back out and fight these guys, I don't think that's a great.
True.
We got 2 for the attack plan. Do we got a third?
I'm in 4 for the attack.
And the attack plan was majority rules. So let's go find somewhere to camp, I guess, and then we'll save up for tomorrow.
Motion carries.
Okay.
Nyfron, do you mind recording that in the minutes?
Sure.
Synchronize watches.
Anyway, let's back away from the river a couple, maybe half a mile.
All right.
Set up camp.
Hold on, just gotta swap some spells for preparation. Alright, I'm good.
All right. So you travel about a half a mile away from the shrine or the Feygate here, and make camp. Is that correct?
Yep.
That's
Yes.
correct.
All right. So you're setting up camp. Are you going to build a fire or?
I recommend against it.
Same.
Same.
God damn it, it's cold.
It is getting a little chilly up here. You set up camp. Are you doing watches?
I'll take the first watch.
Okay.
I'll take second. Oh no, wait, I can't. We don't have fire and I literally can't see.
Oh. You take first watch, I'll take second.
I still can't see.
Okay, you just focus on your spells. I'll take
Also
first
cannot
watch.
see.
Nyfron and I will divvy up the watches.
Okay. Are you taking first watch?
Yeah.
Okay. So he'll take second. You'll take third.
Yep.
Okay. And he'll take fourth. So you take your first watch, and it's uneventful, and you hand it over to Nyfron. And then you're on your third watch. At this point, it's probably about 4 o'clock in the morning. Give me a perception check.
I'm good at those. 22.
All right. So about what you estimate, maybe 30 minutes into your watch, you are going to hear the pine cones and pine leaves or pine needles that are on the ground here. Since this is mostly like evergreen forest, you are going to hear what sounds to be like a pine cone being crunched, probably about maybe 40 yards away from you.
I will gently wake up. Let's see, who do I think is very perceptive? I'll wake up Talia. Say, I think I heard something. I'm going to go investigate.
I'll groggily wake up and go, oh, okay, and kind of set up.
Keep an ear open. I'll be back. And now I'm going to go investigate. Quietly.
Okay, give me a stealth check.
This would go well. 14.
Okay, so you start not moving directly towards the sound, but like kind of in an arc
Angle.
to the right of it, trying to move in behind it. And you are going to be moving towards, you can kind of see like a figure here in the dark that's kind of crouched down, and you're going to get about 10 feet away from it when your foot snaps a twig, and then you're going to see this silhouette turn toward you. Give me a dex save.
Wow. 12.
This figure turns toward you, and then you're going to hear the twang of a bowstring.
Okay. Being a monk comes in handy. I'm going to catch, or try to catch it. It's been a while since somebody tried to shoot me. Let's see. Reaction can reduce damage by d10 plus dex mod plus monk level.
Okay, that's 9 points of damage.
Okay, so d10, dex mod plus monk. Oh, there we go, I do have it. 9.
Hey.
So that means you're
Now
able
I have the...
to catch it, correct?
What's that?
That means you're able to correct.
Yep, I can catch it. Yep, I caught it, and now I can spend 1 chi to attack with it as a monk weapon ranged attack with proficiency.
It has limited range. Just keep that in mind.
Yes, 60 to 120 feet. Or 60/120.
He's about
So I
10
don't know
feet
how
away
close I
from
am.
this figure right now.
Okay, so, yeah. I'm gonna wing it back at him. Oh, wait, that was... Well, it was a crit, so it doesn't matter that I was not paying attention to what I was collecting.
Alright, so that's 11 points of damage. And roll the crit table.
16.
That is what just happened. Target automatically loses concentration. This doesn't have any effect.
Okay.
It's for magic users. This silhouetted shadow, you see it turn, and you hear this twang of the bowstring, and you instinctually reach up and grab this arrow inches away from your throat, and you turn around and do like this like spin, almost like a shot putter, and throw the arrow back at this figure, and you are going to hear this grunt and then kind of this gurgle as it, what you can see now is the outline of a bow. It throws down and grabs its throat as it pulls out a short sword from its scabbard and starts moving towards you.
Okay. We'll shout out, we're under attack, and move in. Can I see anything about this guy? High elf, wood elf?
You can't really tell because
dark,
you're in the dark. You're just seeing a silhouette and something's attacked you.
Okay.
But I will let you go first.
Okay, I'm going to...
Because
say,
that was
who
your
are
reaction,
you?
so it would be your turn.
Okay, so who are you? Why are you here?
You hear a...
I don't speak vomit.
That's a drow.
Alright, I guess I'll just go ahead and attack. I'll move in, and I'll hit him with my staff. So, first attack is a 9.
9 damage. It was a 19 to hit, right?
Oh, sorry, 19 to hit, 9 damage, yeah.
Alright, so this figure starts stumbling towards you, and you ask it that question, and it just gurgles at you as it comes lunging towards you, and you lift up your staff and smack it in the head, and you're going to see it kind of stumble to the side and then gain its balance again as it tries to move forward toward you.
Talia was woken up. Would she have heard him say that we were under attack because he said it?
Yeah, because he's at this point only maybe 30 or 40 yards away, and you're looking towards that area, paying attention.
Talia's going to start waking everybody up.
And I'm going to do subdual, or non-lethal damage, to figure out who this guy is.
Okay.
And I'm going to attack again. That's 21 for 9 more damage.
Yeah, that definitely hits.
And I'm not going to use my boots this time. I'm just going to go ahead and leave myself as myself and attack him with a bonus strike. 16.
Alright, so all 3 of these hit, and with the third, I'm assuming you're hitting him with the staff again?
Yep.
You catch it right beneath the chin, and you hear a snap of wood as this thing goes down to the ground, and it appears to be unconscious.
Cool beans. I'm going to say, okay, we're at least I'm not under attack anymore. I'm going to grab the figure by the foot and start trying to drag it back toward the camp.
So you grab it by the foot, and it's not very heavy. Appears to be the humanoid in size, and as you get it back to camp and reach some kind of like a clearing that you're in, and some of the moonlight filters down, you could see now that this is a high elf that is dressed in these dark green leathers, the color of the evergreen trees here. He appears to be unconscious and maybe bleeding out as the arrow that you threw back is sticking out of its throat. The arrow shaft has been snapped by the force of your staff by hitting him underneath the chin, but he's not looking so good.
Well, I tried not to kill him and failed. So...
give me a medicine check.
Anybody want to try to do anything?
I think we're all waking up.
So as you're waking up, you see Alunodas dragging this high elf into your camp that apparently has like an arrow shaft sticking out of its throat.
I'm going to try and stanch the bleeding.
Well, you already did non-lethal. You should be fine. Concussion, coma, you'll be fine.
Yeah, with that medicine check, I mean, he doesn't look like he's dead currently, but he's probably moving that way.
Well, it's not like we can ask him for information. Maybe we should just let him die, and then Alexander can do his talk to dead spell.
Why did you drag an elf into our camp?
He was coming toward our camp, and then he attacked me, and so I killed him, and I thought maybe we could talk to him.
If there's gonna be any killing going on, I'm doing it.
He says,
I
I'm
have
not
a
dead
little
yet.
debt.
Okay, so now we have a problem, a big problem. When a sentry doesn't come back, they go and investigate. Actually, come to think of it, that could work to our advantage because it'll likely split them up.
Yeah, that's not what I was thinking, but yeah.
If we could set like a phony campfire and wait in ambush for them.
What if instead one of us who can speak Elvish and disguise themselves just makes themselves look like this person and goes back into camp and tries to see what is inside and get us more information?
I don't know what this elf sounds like though, and I sound like Dragonborn still.
But I'm an elf, and I don't look like a high elf, but I do speak Elvish. So, Alexander, why don't you go ahead and kill him? Then we can just talk to the dead, and find out more about him.
Just so you know, if we use Talk to Dead, he has no obligation to tell us the truth.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Or even to talk to us. And talk to him, we should probably use suggestion or something. And get it before we take him out.
Well, the thing is, he can't talk right now. He's got an arrow in his throat. We'd have to pull it out and heal him.
Well, I don't know what to tell you, Alunodas. Maybe you should be more cautious with your arrow slinging. Do you even have a bow? How do you even do that?
He tried to shoot me, and I caught it and threw it back at him. Don't
I
shoot
guess. Okay, sure. Yeah, if we really want to talk to him, we can take it out, and then I can use I have a healing level 2 spell, level 3 spell. I have Prayer of Healing and Healing Word.
So Alunodas is going to start stripping this guy of his arms and armor, and then pull the arrow out of his throat.
Alright, so as you pull the arrow out, he starts gurgling blood and convulsing.
I will use Prayer of Healing.
Now, Pikachu, hit him with a thunderbolt.
What's Prayer of Healing do?
So it restores 2d8 plus my spellcasting ability modifier on a thing for healing.
Damn.
And then if I use it above the spell slot, it gets an extra d8.
Okay, so you cast this spell, and you are going to see the convulsions stop, and after a few minutes, you're going to see him open his eyes, and then dart up, and then look around at his surroundings, and then try to run.
Alunodas will hit him in the legs with his staff.
Okay, give me roll an attack.
10. Damn.
So you swing out with the staff, trying to stick it between his ankles to try to trip him up, but he's too crafty and does this high step and tries to run off into the woods as you all see this butt-ass naked elf running for the tree line.
Can I throw a dagger at him?
Yeah.
We all have our reflex. Maybe we should attack.
24? I'm going to aim for his leg.
Okay.
Try to hamstring him.
So that's 7 points of damage. He had 5 hit points, so he is down.
I was trying to stop him, not kill him, just so we're clear.
So non-lethal.
Yeah, non-lethal.
Okay, so you knock him out again.
Can we tie him up this time?
Yeah, I think we should do that, yes.
I'm not sure what we expected.
You saved his life. He should have been cooperative.
I don't think that's how that works.
So you move him back into the camp and tie him up this time, and does anybody want to give me a medicine check to see if you can bring him back to consciousness?
I suppose.
14?
Anybody else?
13.
Let me just roll a natural 1 here. Hold on. Let me just shove this dagger deeper into him.
Oh no, the dagger wouldn't be there anymore.
12. Oh yeah, you probably would have taken it out.
Oh, it would have flown it back to my hand.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
So I'm just imagining this scene that you've you've taken this elf out, killed him, knocked him out again, and then there's all of you like trying all these different things on this elf who's unconscious on the ground. It's like Shane's like, well, maybe if I slap him in the face, and that doesn't work. And Hannah's like, well, maybe if like I flip his nose or like open his eyes for him. He open his eyes, he's just staring up into the moon, and Alunodas is like, that's not how you do it, and he goes over and starts like pushing on this elf's chest like he's trying to resuscitate him, and that doesn't work. And Juliet's like, get out of the way, I know how this works. And Juliet like grabs all of the elf's legs and like starts like whipping him up and down like he's one of those exercise ropes. And none of it's working.
Okay, but there's still Talia's gonna look at Nyfron and be like, Nyfron, and we've tried everything we can think of. Can you help?
Oh, yes. And he walks over, he rolled a 16. He grabs some of these herbs out of a pouch at his side and crushes them between his fingers and sticks them up this elf's nose. And then almost immediately this elf, his eyes pop open again, and he's like, don't kill me again.
Point of clarification, we didn't kill you the first 2 times, we just knocked you out.
Oh.
Well, when you attack servants of the companions, that's what you should expect.
The companions?
Oh,
yes.
gods, now we do have to kill him.
Did you say that out loud?
Yes.
So
yes.
he looks at Alunodas, and like for a second he was like, oh, you're with the companions. And then Talia says that, and like his expression goes dark. What do you mean you'll have to kill me?
We're on a secret mission, we can't have people knowing we're here.
The red talons are everywhere. We have to work in secrecy as well as in the open.
Why are you here? And why am I tied up?
Because you attacked
ran
us.
the first time we healed you.
You ambushed me. Of course I attacked you. Why are you out here in the woods? Everyone should know that you shouldn't be this close to the Feygate. There's been proclamations. No one's to go near, regardless if you're looking for the companions or not. Untie me.
Since Talia is talking to him, I can only assume he's speaking common.
Yeah, because he is looking around and he's not seeing any elves. Well, I guess he sees you.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming you were talking in common.
Yes. All right.
Talia's going to trigger one of her arm sheaths to get a dagger into her hand, and then she's going to kind of point it in his face and say, quit making demands, we're asking the questions here.
And his eyes go wide and he shuts up.
You didn't even have to roll to intimidate. Well done.
Thank you.
And he's going to say, what kind of people are the companions working with to use such tactics?
You clearly don't know the companions very well. They're very effective at doing what needs to be done. In any event, I'm going to turn to Alexander. Perhaps you should explain the situation to him, sir.
So just so I can get the facts in my head right, this dude is thinking that we're the actual companions, and he's part of the force?
No.
I said servant.
With the companion.
That's yet to be seen whether or not he believes you. Oh yeah, and by the way, give me a deception check, Alunodas.
Damn it.
He almost got away with it.
And what do we even need him for?
6.
We don't. I don't know why he's still alive, but whatever.
Yeah, when he was
You can always ask him questions.
When he was asking you about, you know, who the companions would be working with to use these sort of tactics, you get the feeling he's not believing it.
That's why I turned to Alexander to continue the deception.
Well, what do we need to deceive for?
Get information out of him. Duh.
What do we need?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Is this in
Oh my
character?
god. We could
Say
use some
again.
information.
Was that what they exchanged just in character?
I hope not.
No.
No.
We're meta here.
You could ask-
Talia's...
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, tell us about the defenses.
Give me a persuasion or intimidation check.
14?
I'm not telling you anything.
Talia's gonna take her knife and run it along his cheekbone, drawing blood.
I'm not afraid of you, little girl.
She's just gonna
idea.
smile and say, "You should be. I'm gonna enjoy this."
Give me a intimidation check.
5. She's just gonna be adorable.
Yeah, you're kind of coming off as like adorable, and this elf is just gonna start laughing, and then it's like it turns from like a chuckle into like a full-throated laugh, and it just continues, and he's got the giggles now, and he can't stop.
Alright guys, let's just kill him and be on our way. Maybe we can make get some information from someone else.
Tell us what you know about the elven encampments nearby. I'm going to use suggestion and tell him that if he doesn't, he will die. It's a DC of 15.
And he has advantage.
That is a natural 16.
Yikes. Okay, that doesn't work, so I will slit his throats.
No, he laughed at me. I want to stab him.
Well,
You
I have
can
a
collect
pet that
his
needs
skull.
to be fed.
Alexander needs to feed his dagger. I think
It was just fed. Please let me feed my need to kill something.
you'll be able to kill plenty of stuff tomorrow. And we'll have this conversation in character.
That is a metaphorical feed. I have a literal feed.
Talia's just gonna stab him.
I stabbed him first!
We were having this discussion in character. You didn't.
You know what? You stabbed him at the same time. How about that?
Each of you roll me a initiative check.
Talia's gonna win that one.
11.17.
Oh,
No.
So as you're sitting here arguing about this, and this elf that you have tied up is like he's in this like weird spot between he's still giggling from laughing at Talia from this intimidation attempt, but also kind of in horror as you two are fighting over who's going to kill him. And as this argument's going on, Shane is just going to pull out the dagger and lunge forward, and as you see him move, you like try to pull out yours and lunge too, but Alexander is going to get to this elf before you as he takes the dagger and slides it up under his chin and into his head. And as you do that, Alexander, you're going to hear the demon in the dagger sigh this relief and say, "Yes, this is more like it. Do this more often."
lower.
Pineapple! You are going to feel this surge of warmth come from the dagger and up your hand, and you are going to get a +1 to attacks with this dagger for between now and your next long rest.
Okay, so that includes like 2 hit and damage.
Correct,
Perfect.
Nice.
because you are keeping it well fed. So now you got a dead, tied up high elf.
You can't be a deterrent, Shane. He had no hit points, really.
What are you talking about?
Oh, I see.
Yeah, no, this
I was talking about the chat that was going on in Discord. I thought you were talking about... No, wait, I was supposed to be a deterrent about the dagger. I thought you were... Okay.
No. Talia said that she would remember this in the chat, and I said, do that again and you'll have a front row seat to my bagpipe recital. And she said, yay. And I was like, no, wait, that was supposed to be a deterrent. And apparently she loves bagpipes, but
I do.
that's a meta decision. I feel like Talia does not like bagpipes.
Alright,
You don't
so
get to say that.
at this point it's probably...
Anyway.
So at about this time, it's 4:30 in the morning. You probably need a couple more hours rest to get your spells back.
Let's go ahead and do that.
Well, what about he's a sentry, right? He's gonna not come back, and then they're gonna send somebody to go get him. Not good.
Talia's going to start cutting his head off.
Grumpily.
Talia, oh my god. Do you have to do that here?
When else am I going to do it?
What? I don't think you should do it at all.
I think
If you're gonna do it away from camp, please.
I'm just imagining Talia like over top of this elf, just like sawing its head off with this dagger and pouting.
That's exactly what's happening. We should drag his body farther away, though.
Well, we should probably move camp anyway. They will come looking for him. Juliet's right about that.
For once, I'm right about something.
Well, you didn't have to roll for this, so.
That's true.
Alright, so what are you doing?
Alright, so we are going to take all of our camping stuff, which is virtually nothing because all we have, I think, are bedrolls, and we don't even have a fire lit. And we're gonna move. Well, we're gonna have to move kind of far. We're gonna move, say, 400 feet away.
Actually, what we might want to do is take advantage of this. They'll come looking for him, yeah, so we can go ahead and set up a trap. Maybe we can pick them off.
Yeah, I already suggested that, but no one wanted to do that, so...
Oh, when did...
Trap sounds good.
Yeah. Anyway, I like this, yes.
So
They
currently,
are dependent.
you would probably be in this area on the map here, which is about a half mile away from the Feygate. So which way are you moving?
South? West? Southwest? East? Anyone?
How about west?
South it is.
Alright, how far away are you moving?
How about 4 miles? Or 1.5 miles? What are the votes?
I think we should move far enough that we're not immediately obvious to anyone walking into the camp, but close enough that we can still see and hear our old camp, so that we know when they've come through what's his nuts.
That's a good idea.
So why would we
far
want to
at
be
all.
there whenever they come and find them?
So that we can attack and ambush them and kill some of them.
But aren't we trying to rest?
Well, yeah, we'll rest until they show up, and then we'll kill them.
Alright,
And then
with
we'll rest some more.
as thick as the tree cover here is, because you kind of are in a forest at this point, you probably couldn't be more than, let's say, maybe 60 to 70 yards away before you would lose sight of the camp or any movement through these trees.
So, let's go ahead and set up here and try to wait for them and get some rest. If they don't show up before we're done resting, if we get our rest done before they show up, then we'll set up a more careful ambush. What do you say?
Yeah, sure. Sounds good.
Alright, so you move away and you set up your camp. An hour goes by. I'm assuming that you're going back to the shifts you were on before, so everybody else can rest.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So Nyfron takes shift, and his shift goes by, and nothing happens. And then your shift comes along again, and nothing happens. And at this point, the sun is starting to come up. You've got the glow of sunrise. The moon is still a little bit in the sky, but it is going down over the trees. You take your watch, and still nothing. At this point, everybody would probably be waking up. It's probably around 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. They didn't show up. Let's see if we can't go about setting up an ambush.
Okay. They didn't come in the night to kill us. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Then are we just gonna stick to the plan?
Good, yeah. Well, we could hope they come for us to ambush, or we could just go ahead and run in and attack them, yeah.
Okay, now it sounds like we have 2 different plans. I am confused as hell.
Well,
Same.
I mean, we have the attack plan, which we're gonna do tonight, and whenever the night comes. But in case they come looking for their scout, we're gonna be on the lookout to try and ambush them.
I like that.
That is my current mindset of what the ideas are and what we've agreed to. Unless you do not want to interact with the scouts that are trying to find the scout people.
Well, it's not like we can sit him down, pretend he found camp or something, because he is literally headless.
Alright, so everybody's up at this point. I guess the watches you are setting are the ones looking over your previous campsite.
I'm gonna climb a tree, because I can.
Okay, give me a athletics check. 19. Alright, so you find a pretty sturdy evergreen tree, and you are able to climb up it with no problem because it's got these thick bottom boughs, and you're able to climb up maybe 30 feet up into this tree. It's thinned out a little bit here, and you can see over some of the smaller trees here, but this is pretty old growth forest, so there's still trees in your way. You're actually getting less of a vantage point up here just because you're looking down through trees at an angle now, instead of being closer to the ground where you can see through the trunks.
I was just wanting to be up above them when they attack so I could jump down on them to get a surprise.
Okay.
Stuff.
Are you going into the previous camp to do that? Because you're currently like 60 yards away.
Yeah. Next to the previous camp. Not in it, but yeah.
Okay, so how far away are you doing this from, like, the body?
Maybe 20 feet.
Okay. So a couple hours go by. You're still hanging out in this tree. Around this time, it is about 11 a.m. And give me a perception check.
19.
Alright, so you are going to notice some movement in some trees, probably around 100 feet away from this camp, and you'll see this movement, like, move for a bit and then stop for a minute, and then move, another 20 or 30 feet, and then stop.
I will look very carefully at it and say nothing, because we didn't agree on any sort of signal or anything. And I don't think anyone else is watching me.
Another 10 minutes are going to go by, and give me another perception check.
8.
You're going to see that movement stop in the tree line, and then you don't see any movement again for another probably 20 minutes. You're just sitting there waiting and nothing's happening.
That's what happens when you're a soldier, I guess. A servant of a noble cause.
And at this point, you are probably about 50 yards away from the camp.
I guess so.
The new camp. Okay. Give me a stealth check.
This will go well. It did go well. 23.
Cool as the
I'm
center
really good
seed
at
of a
that,
cucumber. So after these 20, 30, and then 40 minutes go by, where you last saw that movement, you are going to see some movement in the other direction. So the movement was coming from the east before, and now this movement is coming through the west. And then you're going to see 2 high elves with bows in that same dark green armor stepping out into this clearing where your previous camp was. And you're going to see them stop and start looking around in every direction. You're going to see one of them look right at your position up in this tree, and he's going to stare for a long moment, and then he's going to look away and start scanning other parts of these trees. And then after another couple of minutes, they're going to walk over to this body.
Okay. I'm going to click my heels together and jump out of the tree to land as much on top of them as I can.
Alright, so you are currently about 30 feet up in this tree. Are you just jumping out of the tree?
Pretty much. I mean, I'm monkishly, so I don't have to worry about getting hurt, but yeah.
Okay, you can do that.
Monks don't take, let's see, it's falling damage. They ignore up to 3 times their level, I think it is. Let's see, reduce falling damage by amount equal to 5 times your level. So currently, I can ignore up to 30 damage falling damage.
Okay, so that would be 9 damage, so you're able to ignore that?
Yep.
Alright, so you jump out of this tree and you start catching these branches on your way down, and you hit the ground in the 3-point superhero pose, and with all this commotion, you don't surprise them at all, as they're already wary and have their bows up. They spin around and point their bow and arrows at you, and I think that's probably a pretty good place to stop it right there. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Dungeons and Debacles podcast. If I could ask a halfling-sized favor, give us a 5-star rating and review on iTunes. It's the best way to support us. New episodes come out every Monday, so make sure to check your podcast app. If you have an idea to make the podcast better, tell us about it on Twitter or Facebook. You can also check out our website to see all the maps, lore, and characters at dungeonsanddebacklespodcast.com. And now a word from our fantasy sponsor.
Are annoying adventurers stealing your treasure and slaying ye hard-earned magical beasties? An expertly crafted dungeon may just be what ye need. Hell, I'm Brog Stoneshield Jr. of Stoneshield & Sons Dungeon Contractors. When me pal started this business, he had but one philosophy: help people protect what they worked so hard to get. We have free in-tower consultations to design a lair just for ye needs. Our expert dwarven stonesmiths will help you build a dungeon of your dreams, and we can work with any budget. Spike traps, we got them. Flame pillars, no problem. Bottomless pits, we're the best in the business. Do you already have a dungeon and want to upgrade? We can help make it even more secure. With a combined 600 years of experience, there's no dungeon too big or too small. We do them all. Just contact Stoneshield & Sons Dungeon Contractors for all your dungeon needs.
The music you heard on this episode was Riverfire, At Rest, and Enter the Maze by Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com. Licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0 license. CreativeCommons.org/licenses/by/3.0.